Today we can talk about the most relevant topic in linear algebra, that is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. These eigenvectors are, so you already studied what is a linear transformation and how a linear transformation occurs from one vector space to another vector space. So here this eigenvectors will give you more understanding of a linear transformation. Means it will gives, eigenvector gives you the direction to which the linear transformation, if it is a stretching or if it is a sealing, shearing, how it flipping and all, how this linear transformation occurs, and this eigenvector will give you the direction to which this transformation occurs. So what is an eigenvector? So you have a matrix. If A is an n by n matrix, then a non-zero vector x in Rn is called an eigenvector of the given matrix A if Ax is a scalar multiple of x. That is, we can write it is in the form Ax equal to lambda x, where lambda is a scalar value. Then we can call this lambda as an eigenvalue of A, eigenvalue of the corresponding given matrix A, and x is called the corresponding eigenvector to this matrix. For this matrix, the corresponding eigenvector is given by this x, vector x. So this eigenvector is the direction of to which the linear transformation occurs. Now we can go to check some examples. So the vector x equal to column vector 1, 2 is an eigenvector of the matrix A equal to 3, 0, 8, minus 1, corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal to 3. Why? Because we can write Ax equal to lambda x form. So 3, 0, 8, minus 1 into 1, 2 can be write as this is equal to 3 into eigenvalue 3 into this corresponding vector, this 1, 2. So we can write it is in the form Ax equal to lambda x. So x is a eigenvector corresponding to the matrix A. Okay, now for finding this eigenvector, there is a method. First of all, you have given a matrix. So from that matrix, you have to find out the characteristic equation of that matrix, then corresponding eigenvalues, then its eigenvectors. So we can check how we can find out the eigenvectors and eigenvalues. If A is an n by n matrix, then lambda is an eigenvalue of A if and only if it satisfies the equation determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0. That is, you have given a matrix A and I is the corresponding identity matrix, and we have to find out these lambda values. That will give you the eigenvalues. So the characteristic equation of A is given by the equation determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0. Just check with an example. Steps to find eigenvalues. First step, consider the matrix lambda I minus A for a given matrix A. Then find the determinant of lambda I minus A and equate it to 0. You will get the characteristic equation. And then find the roots of this characteristic equation that will give you the eigenvalues. Example, find the eigenvalues of the given matrix A. A is 0, 1, 1, a 3 by 3 matrix, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 4, minus 17, 8. So we need a square matrix. So for finding the characteristic equation, we have to equate determinant of lambda I minus a equal to 0. That is equal to determinant of lambda I, lambda into 3 by 3 identity matrix, lambda I minus a. This will give you lambda I minus a value equal to 0. When you equate, you will get lambda cube minus 8 lambda square plus 17 lambda minus 4. That is the equation. So the characteristic values of A, that is given by when you equate this into 0. So lambda cube minus 8 lambda square plus 17 lambda minus 4 equal to 0. I think all of you know about how to find the determinant of a matrix. So it is a little difficult job. So you can check is this given equation is correct or not using this method. If it is a 2 by 2 matrix, then after your calculation you can check this check it with this equation. If it is a 2 by 2 matrix, then its corresponding eigen characteristic equation is given by this equation, that is lambda square minus trace of a into lambda plus determinant of a equal to 0. So if it is an equation to find how you find the characteristic equation of a matrix, then you have to do all these methods. You have to write down determinant of lambda I minus a equal to 0 and write down all the corresponding steps. Then check it with this equation, lambda square minus trace of a into lambda plus determinant of a equal to 0 for a 2 by 2 matrix, and for a 3 by 3 matrix check it with lambda cube minus trace of a into lambda square plus the corresponding values of the cofactor elements, corresponding cofactor matrix of A11 plus corresponding cofactor matrix of A22 plus corresponding cofactor matrix value of A33 into lambda minus A equal to 0. That is this cofactor matrix means if it is A11, we have to find out our value of A11, det A11. The value will be determinant of 0, 1, minus 17, 8 for our matrix A. Similarly, you can find out A22 and A33 values and check it with our final answer. It will be lambda cube minus trace is minus 8. So minus 8 into lambda square plus this cofactor matrix into lambda minus determinant of A equal to 0. Then you can see that lambda equal to 4, lambda equal to 2 plus root 3 and lambda equal to 2 minus root 3. These are the roots of this corresponding matrix A. Find the eigenvalues of the upper triangular matrix. Upper triangular matrix, above the triangular form you have the elements. Lower triangular matrix, below the diagonal elements. Below the diagonal elements all will be non-zero elements. So find the eigenvalues of upper triangular matrix A equal to A11, A12, A13, A14. 0, A22, A23, A24, 00, A33, A34, 000, A44. So first of all, you have to find the characteristic equation, that is determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0. So after applying this determinant value, you can see that its eigenvalues are this diagonal element itself. Lambda equal to lambda 1 is A11 and lambda value is A22, A33, A44. So precisely the diagonal entries are the eigenvalues of any triangular matrix. The diagonal elements will give you its eigenvalues. So find the eigenvalues of the given matrix A equal to 1 by 2. This 1 by 2 0 0 minus 1 2 by 3 0 5 minus 8 minus 1 by 4. So you can see that this is a lower triangular matrix. If the given matrix is a triangular matrix, upper triangular matrix or lower triangular matrix or any triangular matrix, diagonal matrix, you will get the diagonal entries as its eigenvalues. Now, how to find vectors and how to find eigenvectors from a given matrix, and what is an eigenspace? So we know how to find our eigenvalues of a matrix now. So the eigenvectors of A corresponding to an eigenvalue lambda are the non-zero vectors satisfy lambda I minus A into x equal to 0. That is, the eigenvectors are vectors. It satisfies the equation lambda I minus A into x equal to 0. That is lambda I equal to Ax. And this solution space, the solution space of this linear system is called the eigenspace of the given matrix A. Okay, we can check how to find the eigenvector of a given matrix. Find basis for the eigenspaces of the matrix A equal to minus 1, 3, 2, 0. So first of all, we have to find the characteristic equation of the matrix A. So the characteristic equation of A is given by determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0. So that is lambda plus 1, determinant of lambda plus 1 minus 3 minus 2, lambda minus 0 equal to 0. So by solving this, you can find that lambda equal to 2 and lambda equal to minus 3. So the eigenvalues are lambda equal to 2 and lambda equal to minus 3. Thus, therefore, there are two eigenspaces of A. One corresponding to lambda equal to 2 and the other one corresponding to lambda equal to minus 3. Now we need to find out the corresponding eigenvectors to our eigenvalues. So by definition, x equal to x1, x2 is an eigenvector of A if it satisfies the equation lambda I minus A into x equal to 0. Which vector will satisfy this equation? That will give you the eigenvector. That is lambda plus 1 minus 3 minus 2 lambda into x values x1, x2 equal to 0. So when lambda equal to 2, the matrix will become 3 minus 2, 2 into x1, x2 equal to 0. So you will get two equations, 3x1 minus 3x2 equal to 0 and minus 2x1 plus 2x2 equal to 0. So if we substitute, you will get x1 and x2 same values. So when x1 equal to t and x2 equal to t, the eigenvectors will be tt. When t equal to 1, you can get the eigenvectors as 1 1. 1 1 is an eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 2. And next you have to find the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to minus 3. So 1 1 will give you the eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal to 2, and similarly lambda I minus A into x equal to 0. If you substitute lambda equal to minus 3, you will get the equation as minus 3 by 2 1 is a basis for the eigenspace corresponding lambda equal to minus 3. So you will get two eigenspaces, solution spaces for two bases for the solution space corresponding to lambda equal to 2 and corresponding to lambda equal to minus 3. Next, just find out the basis for the eigenspaces of the matrix A equal to 0, 0, minus 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 8. So for finding, first you have to find out its a characteristic equation, then eigenvalues, then eigenvectors. So since it is a 3 by 3 matrix, you will get 3 eigenvalues and 3 eigenvectors corresponding to the 3 eigenvalues. So when we find out the eigenvalues, you will get lambda equal to 2 comma 2 is a double root and lambda equal to 1. 1, 2, 2 are the roots of this equation of that matrix. So for finding the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 2, you write down ax equal to a minus ai minus lambda into x equal to 0 form. So that will give you this matrix 2, 0, 2, minus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, 0, minus 1 and the vector x1, x2, x3 equal to 0. By solving this by Gauss elimination method, you will get x1 equal to minus s, x2 equal to t and x3 equal to s, because 2 is a double root. You will get 2 eigenvalues from there. That is x equal to minus s t s. So minus s 0 s and 0 t 0 are 1 eigenvector values. So minus 1 0 0 and 0 1 0 when s equal to 1 when s is equal to 0, you will get minus 1 0 1 and 0 1 0. These are linearly independent vectors. So corresponding to lambda equal to 2, you will get 2 eigenvalues since lambda is a double root. Now you have to find out the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 1. So for lambda equal to 1, you will get the eigenvector as minus 2, 1, 3. Minus 2, 1, 1 corresponding to lambda equal to 1. There is one eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 2. Since 2 is a double root, you have 2 eigenvectors. If A is an n by n matrix, then we have some following equivalent statements. If A is an n by n matrix which is invertible, then Ax equal to 0 has only the trivial solution. X equal to 0, y equal to 0, z equal to 0 will be its solution. And it is reduced to a echelon form of A is In. We can reduce it to the echelon form In. And A is expressible as a product of elementary matrices. Then Ax equal to B is consistent for every n by 1 matrix B, and its determinant, since as it is invertible, its determinant is not equal to 0. And the row vectors of A form a basis for Rn, and if it is invertible square matrix, then it has rank n and A has nullity 0, and the orthogonal complement of the null space of A is Rn, and orthogonal complement of the row space of A is 0, and kernel of the transformed matrix Ta is 0, and the range of Ta transformation of matrix A is Rn, and Ta is 1 to 1, and lambda equal to 0 is not an eigenvalue of A. If it is an invertible matrix, then lambda equal to 0 is not an eigenvalue of A. Okay, next is diagonalization. We have two matrices, two n by n matrices. One is A and the other one is P. P is invertible. So a transformation from A to P inverse AP, in which the matrix A is mapped into the matrix P inverse AP. that transformation is called a similarity transformation. Because it is very important because it preserves some properties of the matrix A. Example, if B equal to P inverse AP, where B and A are square matrices, then we can say that this A and B are similar matrices. They have the same rank, same nullity, and determinant properties are there. So we can look at these properties also. A and P inverse AP have the same determinant, and A is invertible if and only if P inverse AP is invertible, and both have the same rank, same nullity, and same trace, and they have the same characteristic polynomial and eigenvalues. If lambda is an eigenvalue of A, then the eigenspace of A corresponding to lambda are equal in both A and P inverse AP. So if a matrix of the form B equal to P inverse AP, where B and P are square matrices, then we can say that they are similar matrices. And in the other way also, then we can say that this A is similar to B also. A square matrix A is said to be diagonalizable if it is similar to some diagonal matrix. That is, if there exists an invertible matrix P such that P inverse AP is diagonal. Or we can say that P is said to diagonalize A. And also we have, if A is an n by n matrix, then there is an equivalent statement. That is, if A is diagonalizable, then A has n linearly independent eigenvalues. If it is a diagonalizable matrix, then we have the eigenvectors. The eigenvectors are linearly independent. There will be n linearly independent eigenvectors will be there. Example, find a matrix P that diagonalizes A equal to 0, 0, minus 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 3. For finding, checking the diagonalization process, first of all we have to find out our characteristic equation, then eigenvalues, then eigenvectors, and this corresponding vector matrix that will form our P matrix. So here we have the characteristic equation is given by the formula determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0. So that is lambda minus 1 into lambda minus 2 whole square equal to 0. From here you have lambda equal to 1 and lambda equal to 2 comma 2 are the eigenvalues. So corresponding to each eigenvalue we have an eigenvector. So corresponding to lambda equal to 2, since it is double root, you have two eigenvectors. After the calculation you will get the first one as eigenvector as minus 1, 0, 1 and P2 is 0, 1, 2. Similarly for lambda equal to 1 also. So for lambda equal to 1, the eigenvector you have we will get as minus 2, 1, 1. So there are three basic vectors in total. So our matrix P will be of the form the first vector and the second vector and the third vector. We have to show that it diagonalizes A. For checking that we have our P inverse AP. Write down P inverse AP. So P inverse, find out the inverse of this matrix, then A matrix, then P matrix. And after calculation you can see that 2 into it is 0 2 0 0 0 2 0 0 0 1. It is a diagonal matrix with the diagonal entries are our eigenvalues. Okay, just write down the equation. Next we have to show that the matrix 1 0 0 1 2 0 minus 3 5 2, it is not diagonalizable. So we can't get such a matrix uh, with the diagonal entries as eigenvalues. So we have to show that this matrix is not diagonalizable. First of all, write down the characteristic equation. You will get the characteristic equation as, so we have lambda equal to 1 and lambda equal to 2. 2 comma 2 will be the eigenvalues. So here we can find only two eigenspaces. Corresponding to lambda equal to 1, the eigenvector will be 1 by 2, 1 by 8 minus 1 by 8, 1. And for lambda equal to 2, it is 0, 0, 1. Since it is a 3 by 3 matrix and we have only two basis vectors, so A is not diagonalizable. And try to do this problem also. Check whether the equation, whether this matrix A equal to 0 1 0 0 0 1 4 minus 17 8, is it diagonalizable? We have a theorem. If k is a positive integer, lambda is an eigenvalue of a matrix A, and x is the corresponding eigenvector, then lambda power k is an eigenvalues of A power k, and x is the corresponding eigenvector. That is, example, the eigenvalues and corresponding eigenvectors of matrix A are, this is we already done here in the above example. So there we have the eigenvalues are 1 and 2 corresponding to the matrix A. So we have the eigenvalues of A power 7 is lambda equal to 1 raised to 7 and lambda equal to 2 raised to 7. 1 and 128 are the eigenvalues of A raised to 7. Find A raised to 13 where A equal to 0, 0, minus 2, 1, 2, 1 and 1, 0, 3. So we have D equal to P inverse AP, and we already seen that this is a diagonal matrix. A is diagonalizable. So we have P equal to its vector matrices and find out its inverse, P inverse. Now for finding A raised to 13, what we do? A raised to 13 will be equal to, yes, P into the diagonal matrix D raised to 13 into P inverse. Both will be same. So P inverse D raised to 13 and P. And after the calculation you can see that A raised to 13 is minus 8190 0 minus 16382 8191 8192 8191 8191 0 16383. So A raised to k equal to P inverse D raised to k P. So the dimension of the eigenspace corresponding to lambda. The dimension of the eigenspace, the corresponding numbers, and the number of eigenvalues will give us the geometric multiplicity and how many times lambda minus lambda naught appears as a factor in the characteristic polynomial of A, that will give you the algebraic multiplicity of lambda. So look at here in the previous example. For the above example, we can see that there is algebraic multiplicity of lambda 1 is 1, and how many times this eigenvalue repeated, that is algebraic multiplicity. Lambda 1 is 1 and for lambda 2 is it's 2. And for the previous example, its geometric multiplicity will be, for the eigenvalue lambda 1, its geometric multiplicity is 1. That is, the dimension of the eigenspace corresponding to lambda 1 is 1 and corresponding to lambda 2 is 2 there. But here the geometric multiplicity is 1. So always the algebraic multiplicity will be greater than or equal to geometric multiplicity. But whenever this 2 will be equal, whenever this algebraic multiplicity will be equal to geometric multiplicity, then we can say that that matrix is diagonalizable. Okay, we can check an example of diagonalization. Find a matrix P that diagonalizes A equal to 0, 0, minus 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 3. We have already found that how to find the characteristic polynomial, characteristic equation, then the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Up to this you know. So in a similar manner, find out the characteristic polynomial. So it will be lambda minus 1 into lambda minus 2 whole square equal to 0. And corresponding the eigenvalues are lambda equal to 1 and lambda equal to 2 comma 2. 2 is a double root here. So find out its corresponding eigenvectors. For lambda equal to 2, since it's a double root, we have two eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 2. So corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal to 1, you will get the eigenvector as minus 2, 1, 1. So there are three basis vectors that are P equal to minus 1, 0, 1 and 0, 1, 0, minus 2, 1, 1. We have to check is it diagonalizes A. So for checking that one, you need P inverse A. P inverse is there, A is there, P is there.
So P inverse AP equal to diagonal matrix with diagonal entries 2, 2, 1.
Inner product space. An inner product space is a generalization of the dot product. That is a function from, an inner product is a function from V cross V to F. So we have a real value quantity which satisfies some axioms. For all vectors u, v and w in V and a scalar k, it must satisfy, the inner product satisfies some axioms of properties that are inner product uv equal to inner product vu. That is the symmetric axiom satisfies. And the second one, inner product u plus vw equal to inner product uw plus inner product vw, additive property. And inner product ku into v is equal to k into inner product uv, homogeneity axiom. And fourth one is inner product vv, that should be greater than or equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 if and only if v equal to 0. This must satisfied by an inner product. So a vector space, a real vector space together with this kind of an inner product is called an real inner product. A real vector space with an inner product is called a real inner product space. Inner product UV. If U equal to U1, U2, U3, etc. UN, and V equal to V1, V2, V3, etc. VN, then inner product of UV equal to U1, V1 plus U2, V2 plus U3, V3 up to etc. plus UN, Vn. This inner product is commonly called Euclidean inner product or standard inner product on Rn. And we have norm of V is equal to square root of inner product V comma V. Norm of V is square root of inner product V comma V. The distance between two vectors is denoted by duv, and it is defined as duv equal to inner product of u minus v, that is inner product of that is square root of norm of u minus v, which is equal to square root of inner product u minus v comma u minus v. We have given given two vectors u and v are given. So for finding the distance, duv is square root of inner product u minus v comma inner product u minus v. A vector of norm 1 is called a unit vector. The standard inner product on Pn. If P equal to A0 plus A1x plus etc. plus Anx raised to n, and Q equal to B0 plus B1x plus etc. Bnx raised to n are two polynomials in Pn, then the following formula defines an inner product on Pn, and that will called the standard inner product on this space. Okay. So inner product PQ equal to, when P equal to A0, A1, etc. Anx raised to n, and B equal to B0, B1, etc. Bnx raised to n, then inner product PQ is A0, B0 plus A1, B1 plus etc. up to An, Bn. And each of its norm of V is equal to square root of inner product P comma P. Now we have to check is it an inner product or not. For any P equal P and Q, and we can take another set of element as R equal to C0 plus C1x plus etc. Cn x raised to n. For any real number K, inner product PQ equal to A0 B0 plus A1 B1 plus etc. plus An Bn. So first axiom, inner product PQ equal to inner product QP, and second one, inner product P plus QR equal to A0 B0 into C0 plus A1 plus B1 into C1 plus etc. So take A0 C0 plus A1 C1 plus etc. plus An Cn one set. So you will get P plus QR is equal to PR inner product PR plus QR. Also inner product Kp into Q is equal to inner product K into PQ, and inner product PP is greater than or equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 only if P equal to 0. Angle in an inner product space. An angle theta between two vectors u and v in Rn is given by the formula, as you all know, that is cos theta equal to uv divided by u into v divided by norm of u into norm of v, where inner product uv is the standard product of Rn. And we are using here as norm of v is equal to square root of inner product vv. have the formula cos theta equal to inner product uv by norm u into norm v. Two vectors in an inner product space are said to be orthogonal if their inner product is equal to 0. The value of the inner product is 0. So an example, the vectors u equal to 1 1 and vector v equal to pair 1 comma minus 1 are orthogonal with respect to the Euclidean inner product on R2, because u dot v equal to inner product u dot v is 1 into 1 plus 1 into minus 1, that is equal to 0. So we can say that this u and v are orthogonal. Let P2 have the inner product PQ equal to integral minus 1 to 1 P of x Q of x dx, and let P equal to x and Q equal to x square. Is it orthogonal or orthonormal? So inner product, when inner product of PQ is integral minus 1 to 1 and where p and q are x square, the norm of p is equal to inner product pp raised to 1 by 2. After calculation we can see that it is root of 2 by 3, and norm q is inner product q into q raised to 1 by 2, square root of inner product q, that you will get as root 2 by 5. So inner product pq is integral minus 1 to 1 xx square dx, which is equal to 0. Since this inner product PQ is 0, it is orthogonal relative to the given inner product. Now we have an orthogonal set of vectors. So an orthogonal set in which each vector has norm 1. If v is an orthogonal vector, that is inner product of v into v is equal to 0. So for such an orthogonal set in which each vector has norm 1 is called orthonormal. Look at this small example. Let v1 equal to pair 0 1 0, v2 equal to 1 0 1, v3 equal to 1 0 minus 1. Assume that R3 has a Euclidean inner product. It follows that the set of vectors s equal to v1 v2 v3 is orthogonal since their inner product v1 v2, which is equal to inner product v1 v3 equal to v2 v3 equal to 0. The Euclidean norm of the above vectors will be norm of v1, that is norm of v1 is square root of inner product v1 into v1, that is equal to 1. Norm of v2 is root 2 and norm of v3 is root 2. Consequently, for normalizing v1, v2, v3, that will gives u1 equal to v1 divided by norm of v1, that is equal to 0 1 0, that is norm v1 value with a norm, that is square root of v1 into v1, that you will get as 0 1 0. u2 is equal to 1 by root 2 0 1 by root 2, and u3 is also 1 by root 2 0 1 by root 2. And also we can see that inner product v1 v2 and inner product v1 v3 and inner product v2 v3 are 0, and each of its norm is equal to 1. So the given set, we have the given set s equal to u1 u2 u3 is orthonormal in R3. We can say that it is orthonormal in R3. So in an inner product space, a basis consisting of orthonormal vectors is called an orthonormal basis, and a basis consisting of orthogonal vectors is called orthogonal basis. So finding an orthonormal basis from an orthogonal basis is the process of Gram-Schmidt, that is Gram-Schmidt process. So look at this example. Show that S is equal to V1, V2, V3 is an orthonormal basis for R3 with the Euclidean inner product where V1 equal to 0, 1, 0, V2 equal to minus 4 by 5, 0, 3 by 5, V3 equal to 3 by 5, 0, 4 by 5. Express the vector U as a linear combination of the vectors in S and also find the coordinate vector U with respect to S. We have inner product uv1 equal to 1 and uv2 equal to minus 1 by 2 and uv3 equal to 7 by 5. So by the previous theorem we have u equal to v1 minus 1 by 2 v2 plus 7 by 5 v3. So 1 1 1 can be write as 0 1 0 minus 1 by 5 into minus 4 by 5 0 3 by 5 plus 7 by 5 into 3 by 5 0 4 by 5. So we have every non-zero finite dimensional inner product space has an orthonormal basis. So it's a step-by-step procedure to find an orthogonal basis. The process of finding orthogonal basis is called the Gram-Schmidt process. From an orthogonal basis, finding the orthonormal basis is called the Gram-Schmidt process. And in that one, we have a basis u1, u2, etc. ur into an orthogonal basis v1, v2, etc. vn, vr. So in step 1 we have u1 equal to v1 itself, and in step 2 v2 equal to u2 minus inner product u2 v1 by norm of v1 square into v1. And similarly v3 we can write as u3 minus u3 into inner product u3 v1 by norm of v1 square into v1 minus u2 v2 u3 into v3 by norm of v2 square into v2. And for v4 what is v4? u4 minus inner product u4 into v1 by norm v1 square into
Was
v1
AP
minus
equal to diagonal
u4
matrix.
into v2 by norm v2 square into v2 minus v4 into v3 by norm of v3 square into v3. Continue these steps. Apply Gram-Schmidt process to transform the standard basis 1x x square for P2 into an orthogonal basis phi 1x, phi 2x, phi 3x. So what is, first of all we have to write the basis element as u1 1, u2 x and u3 x square. Then in step 1 v1 equal to u1 itself. And in step 2 inner product v2 u2 v2 u2 v1 equal to integral minus 1 to 1 x dx, that is 0. And so v2 equal to u3 and in the next step we have inner product u2 v1 equal to 0 and step 3 inner product u3 into v1, that is integral minus 1 to 1 x square dx is 2 by 3. So inner product v1 u2 is integral minus 1 to 1 x cube dx. So norm of v1 square is equal to inner product v1 into v1, that is integral minus 1 to 1 1 dx. Integral of 1 is x, from minus 1 to 1 it is 2. So v3 equal to u3 minus u3 into v1 by norm v1 square into v1 and v3 into inner product v3 into v2 by norm of v2 square into v2. And substitute all these values, you will get it as x square minus 1 by 3. So now we obtained the orthogonal basis values. That is, the orthogonal basis as set 1, x square minus 1 by 3. Find an orthogonal matrix P that diagonalizes the matrix A equal to 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4. We have to find an orthogonal matrix P that diagonalizes this matrix A. So as in the similar manner, first we have to find the characteristic equation, then eigenvalues, then corresponding eigenvectors, and we have to diagonalize the matrix. We have to first of all we have to find the orthogonal matrix P. So after finding the characteristic polynomials and characteristic eigenvalues, you will get the eigenvalues as lambda equal to 2 and lambda equal to 2 as a double root and lambda equal to 8. And corresponding to lambda equal to 2, you will get two eigenvectors. One is minus 1, 1, 0 and minus 1, 0, 1. And corresponding to lambda equal to 8, you will get the eigenvector as 1, 1, 1. So apply Gram-Schmidt process to this u1, u2 that yields the following orthonormal eigenvectors. After applying the Gram-Schmidt process, so you will get V1 as minus 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 0, and V2 as minus 1 by root 6, minus 1 by root 6, and 2 by root 6. Similarly, for the eigenvector U3, so for U3, the corresponding element of V3 is 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3, and 1 by root 3. And for the matrix P will given by this orthonormal set of vectors, that is minus 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 0, and minus 1 by root 6, minus 1 by root 6, 2 by root 6, and 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3 form our matrix P, which orthogonally diagonalizes A. Means when we do P transpose AP, you will get diagonal matrix with diagonal entries as our characteristic values, that is our eigenvalues. So this P transpose AP will give you a diagonal matrix with diagonal elements as eigenvalues 2 to 8. So this is a very important topic, Gram-Schmidt process and orthogonalization. So we can wind up our topic here. Thank you.